People of the internet, I am that Guy, and today I'm being pulled into a video game where I'm going to jump on some baddie's head, then throw his corpse at one of his mates to get a coin. But I'm not going on this journey alone. I'll be joined in two-player mode by Nona, who looks absolutely smashing in green dungarees, as Total Cocktail presents Obex.
Hello, my name is Conor Thomas Marsh. I'm 36. I live in Baltimore. I love computer games. This is Sandy. A couple years ago, she just showed up in my backyard and she never left. I saw your ad, Obex. And it's such a cool concept, putting real people into games. Can you make it to the end of the maze and defeat the demon Eraserhead before he eats your mortal soul? I don't know what's going on. This is Obex.
A truly terrible place. Ixaroth took Sandy.
Then I have to go and get her back.
Ixaroth rules over all of Obex.
Tell me, Connor, where are you headed?
Concave's castle.
You chose this life.
Connor!
Do you remember what I told you?
You're gonna get her back. I just know it.
Someday we'll all be living in computers, even dogs.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to. maybe we cut here and we just start again.
Yeah, I'm going to snip it on that one.
We just snip that part out and
Yeah.
we start from here, starting from now.
Yeah. I was supposed to put Woody cast up today as well, but I don't want to be doing that. Not at the moment. He's in all the intros of the videos at the moment, though. It seems to draw people in on the YouTube. If you got like something interesting at the start of the video,
Yeah.
and it's generally just my ugly face, and people are like, off already, or it's just like random screen off. If it's a cat, they're like, oh, cat. Then you play a trailer and it's, oh, trailer. And bored man talking to other bored man about film.
Bald man speaking to cat.
The idea is a Woody cast where I just get the camera on him and I ask the questions and do the conversation, but that part of the show isn't actually broadcast. It's just the person answering. That'll work.
You know, that will work.
Just Woody looking at the screen occasionally like, what the fuck's that? But I need to keep him there for about at least 30 minutes while doing a show.
Yeah, that's why it's going to become difficult. They
Yeah.
tell you to never work with animals and children.
Yeah, it's the worst. So at the moment, I start speaking and he jumps off me.
Yeah, he's had enough already.
He knows what I'm doing. But
He's
it's,
like,
if I'm in the middle of
no.
a show, it's fine. He'll come and join me. Is if I start saying, people of the internet, I am the effing guy, he goes, no, jumps off.
We love an anxious drama queen. We love a diva.
Must be why he's a bit sick today, because we show up.
Yeah, he just knew he's not ready for his audience.
I'm going to get all those comments, and I have to read all those comments, and I have to comment back to the comments saying, oh, how my owner isn't cruel to me by putting me on camera.
Put me out for each one. So
I'm not ill. I don't look ill, do I? Do I look ill? Should I be put down? Oh no. Stress. Cats. Anyway, films.
We start again. Hi everyone.
Today's film about gaming. You're a gamer. You play the games on the online stuff and do the Twitchy stuff and on the PCs. What was the first game system you had though? Because this is about old
Amiga. It was an Amiga. I think we had a 600 and then a 1200. I think that's how it went. We had two. But the Amiga was the first thing I ever got to play on. I say it was the Amiga. I don't think that's entirely true. My parents weren't massive fans of me playing computer games because they were really seen as being for boys. So when I played on the Amiga, it was often more, I kind of got to play an hour and it'd be things like Mickey Mouse. Super Frog was my favorite. But we also, before then, had one of those plug in the TV with the little joystick things.
Not the Atari. Like a
I think
knockoff
it was
one.
a knockoff, yeah. Like it, where you had the lines on either side of the TV screen that you had to hit a ball between and stuff like that.
But they could still call it Pong because there wasn't sort of massive litigation back in the day where it's like, that's copyright.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise, the one I remember is the Amiga. The Amiga. Floppy disks. I think my parents played Monkey Island, and it was like 50 discs. There was just stacks of them, and it'd get to a certain point in the game, and it'd be like, "Please load disc 3," and you put disc 3 in, and then it'd load it, and then it'd go, "Now please insert," and you'd have to put in the next one that it asked for. It was great. It's one that I don't own now. It's one that I would like to have, but they're very expensive now because a lot of them, it's the same as Game Boys. They're mostly spares and repairs now. There's not many in operation that work. All of mine work, I should point out. I have 6 different types of Game Boy.
Nice. Any fancy ones or just you see a Game Boy, you buy a Game Boy?
I have a red version of the classic Game Boy. So the original grey one. I also have the grey one. But I also have a red version of that. I have the pink version of the SP. That was kind of a special edition, so to speak. I don't know if I have anything that's necessarily like they did all kinds, like Pokemon and Yoshi, and like I think the micro one they did a Yoshi version. It was green. With a little egg on it, if I remember.
I used to have like a Game Boy Advance that was see-through pink, which apparently was quite rare.
Yeah, that is quite rare.
Yeah, I ended up selling that for just under 100.
Yeah,
I regret now. As soon as I sold it, I was
worth
like,
a lot more now too. Like mine, my grey one is worth around 80. And that's just for like the bog standard one. But like I say, it's because a lot of them, they're not like working Game Boys just don't exist anymore, really.
Unless
they
you go to
do,
Japan,
but not to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's very different still. Like that's a whole import thing. But it's the same with a lot of the older consoles. I don't like saying necessarily retro consoles because some of them are not that old, but
I'm trying to think what is retro and what is vintage. I think there's a certain amount of years, and they say vintage now.
Vintage
the
is
really
20
old
years,
ones.
isn't it? Anything that was like 2006.
I thought vintage was older than retro.
No,
Because I hear
thought it was
retro
the other
and
way
or people
around.
write retro and it's PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2. I saw a PlayStation
know.
3 and they said retro.
I think people just put them whatever they feel like. Like they'll put retro just to kind of try and garner interest. Like if we're going with retro, then most of the consoles I own are that. Like I have a PS2. I use it as a DVD player too, still to this day. It has a pink PS1 controller that I use. It's pearlescent. But it literally is it's set up next to my massive flat screen TV. And there's I have a Blu-ray player. I don't like using it. My PS2 works still. I'm putting my DVDs in it and I'm playing them on it. It works. I can play games on it and everything still.
Yeah. I wish I still had my
Saves some more
PlayStation 1
space.
actually. My PlayStation 1 was covered in stickers, chipped. It would only work if it was turned upside down.
Poor thing's got to be dizzy.
It had about 100 games on it because it was all pirated.
Yeah, when my brother had a chipped PS1, but when I say
Everyone knew a
chipped,
guy.
it was, well, yeah, the reason it wasn't So my parents were really against having it opened up for the warranty. But by the time my brother got one, you could get this thing that you plugged in that was like a detachable chip that had all of the games in. And my brother had one. It was like lime green that plugged into the back that he could get all of his games, but also he could play copies of games using it. And it didn't stop the warranty or anything on the PlayStation being like void because of it being opened and stuff. So, yeah. It's a ride.
What was the first game you got addicted to? Not played, but fully addicted. Spent hours on, never stopped.
It's loaded up on my screen right now. Yeah, World of Warcraft. I've played so much World of Warcraft. Like, I started playing technically in Warlords of Draenor, but I was a quester at the time, and I used to just play with friends. So I'd just log in, we'd do some quests, and that was like our social thing. Because you could just sit on, like, at the time, it was Zoom that we'd sit on, and you could just sit on Zoom. You could type to each other, you could chat to each other, we'd play for a bit, and then we'd log off. But then when the pandemic hit, I think Shadowlands was about to hit, and I was like, I got a new PC, and I was like, I've not played for a long time. I bet this system can play it. So I downloaded it and I started playing, and yeah, now I'm knee deep in World of Warcraft. The next expansion's coming in, like, I think the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I'm gonna be. I mean, right now I'm in a delve. I've stopped, obviously. I've got Bran shouting at me, asking why we're not doing anything, but it's like, dude, I'm busy. Real life's taken over right now. Stop.
That's one of those games that I always looked into, like interested in playing, but I know I'd get addicted to it. I have that addictive personality, and I'm like, I don't need that. And that's why I avoid most games these days. Everyone's like, oh, it takes this many days to do, and it's like, I'm good. I'm good.
There's never, like, the player base will probably disagree with me, but for me, I think because of where I came from when I started playing in comparison to now, there's not ever a time that I have nothing to do in the game. Because there's always mount runs, there's always pet runs, there's always achievements. Like, next expansion, I'm joining a cutting edge team to get my first cutting edge, hopefully. I used to be the raid lead for a mythic team, but we were like a beginner team, and now I'm moving up essentially to try and clear the whole of the mythic raid and step down from raid leading. But like, that is exactly what you do end up doing when you're addicted. You end up going into raiding. You end up going the whole way up to mythic and trying to do all the bosses. And they've made the game even easier to some degree. So yeah, I'm worried. I may be AFK from real life for a while. Doing my dungeons. Like, where's Nona? Oh, probably in Azeroth somewhere. Right now I'm in Koresh. That's where you'll find me.
A video would come in handy. I'm just looking straight at the screen. I have no idea what you just said. A lot of those words.
A lot of people don't unless they play WoW. Like, if there's anyone listening who plays World of Warcraft, they're gonna have heard all of that and go, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Whereas there's gonna be a whole other bunch of people going, huh?
On with the film.
Yes.
Set in 1987 and shot in monochrome, Obex is a surreal lo-fi fantasy adventure with a cautionary tale about living life for a screen. The world premiere took place at the 2025 Sundance Film Festival, where IndieWire called it Eraserhead meets The Legend of Zelda. Conor Marsh lives a secluded life with his dog, Sandy, until one day he begins playing Obex. When Sandy disappears, the line between reality and gaming blurs, and Conor must enter the world of Obex to save her. Obex is a fantasy adventure feature from the creative mind of Albert Birney, writer and director of Strawberry Mansion, co-written by Pete Ohs. It stars Birney alongside Callie Hernandez and Frank Mosley. And the score was recorded by Josh Dibb, founding member of experimental rock band Animal Collective. And I sat down yesterday to write my notes down in the app because I have a two-part process, taking notes during the film and then expanding on them when I get into the app. And I realised I didn't actually write anything whatsoever. None at all. Because, I really enjoyed this and I was kind of drawn in by it.
It was good. It's one of those, I feel like I need to watch it again, though. Do you know what I mean? Because there was a lot. I feel like I need to watch Eraserhead and then go back and watch it again.
Yeah, Eraserhead I watched the first time and I didn't quite get it, but I enjoyed it.
It had a demented lamb chop as a baby. I can't see that baby and not see lamb chop. Because that's what I do every single time I see it. I'm like, it's just lamb chop.
Yeah, and the second time I watched it, I got all the humour in it.
Yeah,
quite funny. So yeah, I think you might be at that stage.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's a good movie. I'm not going to sit here and say that I didn't enjoy it because I did. It's just one of those where I feel like I need to watch it again because I think there's bits I maybe missed or that did go over my head a little bit the first time, and maybe I just need. It's something that I don't think you can watch once and take everything in the first time.
Yeah, I was won over by the trailer for it, and it does lull you into the idea that this is going to be a kooky and wacky 8-bit style adventure, like maybe Jumanji without a budget. A man gets pulled into a game, gets turned into pixels, does loads of jokes about old video games, play with all the tropes and so on and so on. But it isn't that. And even though I was kind of expecting that and sideswiped by what the film was about, I still really enjoyed it and thought it was better than what they would have done if they just went the route I went, where I said about where it's like it's 8-bit jokey about old video games.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching a person's fever dream at the same time.
Yeah, the character of Conor is got isolation and loneliness issues. Agoraphobic, is it? Is it the one? You don't leave the house.
Where they don't go outside, yeah.
Yeah, and he's got like his own business going on, 1987, doing computer art. Where it's not even paint, it's just dashes and dots. And I love that bit.
Well, when I was a kid, my nan, had a typewriter that had red and black ink in it, and I used to do a similar thing, making Dennis the Menace out of X's.
Yeah, but it has that, and it looks insane when he's doing it. I think that adds to the madness of the character, and the fact he's like isolated, lonely, only got Sandy the dog to talk to. Yes, a nice little character study.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was one of those. Like I said, I felt like I was watching a person's fever dream at the same time. It's hard, right? Because it's really hard to say anything bad about it. It being filmed in black and white, we've said this before. Especially with these types of movies, if you've got a budget, black and white especially for particular parts. And this movie, I know they shot the whole thing in black and white, but there were some horror elements in there and I put commas around this, special effects, because they didn't go completely, back to the wall, balls deep, kind of into special effects as such. A lot of them were kind of a lot more like organic things, but because it was shot in black and white, it stopped them looking bad necessarily. Like it stopped them being so stand out. This is probably just some Halloween spirit, Halloween shit, you know, like it stops it from looking terrible.
Yeah, because you got the like cicadas in it, like
Yeah.
infested his house and all around the house, and it's constant noise whenever he goes outside. And you can kind of hear him in the background when he's in the house. And when he goes into the game world, they're like the big evil in it. So it's just guys in masks and combat uniforms. And it looks
because
incredibly
it's
cheap,
in
but yeah, it's
because it's in black and white, it takes back some of the cheapness because you're not necessarily then seeing the paint job on the masks, which can make them look cheaper and that kind of stuff.
It's like really saturated black and white, covers a lot of sins in it, as well as it being set in 1987. And one of the things I have an issue with, like the modern corporations consider to be retro, I get that word, retro in 1980s is it's all neon lit and all those sort of colours, when it was a lot of brown and everything had a slight yellow tint to it.
It was that, and there was a certain amount of grey and red as well, and black and white. The typical bachelor pads in the grey red monochromes that were very boring, very geometric. Geometric certainly was a thing, but yeah, the neon thing has always struck me as, for me, that was always a little bit more 90s.
Yeah, it's the ideal. It's like they threw it into a machine and said, what image do you get when you think of the 80s? Oh, it's neon. It's like, no, there's not a lot of neon going around even, I mean, I live in London and we're supposed to be like the epicenter of everything in this country. And you walk around London, it's like only Sega World was neon. I think that was even after the 80s. And nothing was neon back then. Maybe Soho was. That's about it.
There was a creeping of it, I think, in the late 80s.
Yeah, it's not as much as they make out in films and TV.
Definitely not as much. Like I was born in 86. I do remember having a bright pink tracksuit. It had like a lime green piping on it, I think, if I remember correctly. But I would have been coming into the 90s as I owned that. So I think, like, again, like I associate it to the earlier 90s. Because then we had those like really bright, ridiculously awful colours that then kind of disappeared as we got into the later 90s and turned into silver and gold and that kind of stuff because of the millennium. I remember chrome being fucking everywhere.
Chrome, early CGI.
Yeah.
Computer graphics. But yeah, because it's all in black and white, it gets around that. Having to everything look from the 1980s, it just had a saturation effect on it. It looks a bit grimy, a bit messed up. I think that the most of the budget probably went into that living room with the three TVs stacked on top of each other and all the videos.
Yeah, the I'm gonna say, I don't know how much of this will be a spoiler, but the television head, that must have been fucking heavy. Like, even without the stuff inside, that case would have been so heavy.
Yeah, or maybe it's like a cheap plastic mold they maybe might knocked up.
Maybe, and maybe because again it's in black and white, you just can't tell that.
Yeah, so that worked for me. I don't really have any issues with anything in the film. Really. I can't find any faults with it. I love this film. I'm actually going to say that I love this film. It took me by surprise with what I was expecting and what I got.
Yes.
I'm really happy with what I got. I think the film is a lot better, but then I don't think you can market that type of film. And I did read a few of the reviews on IMDb, and I shouldn't do, because I just get angry at some of the people. And so people are like giving it 1 star and saying it's boring. It's nothing to do with gaming and stuff like that. Oh, it takes so long to do this bit.
It's massively to do with it. It's massive. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm a gamer and I am surrounded by people who do isolate themselves in gaming. Like, it has a hell of a social commentary in the isolation that a person can have in their life. And gaming is a real escape into that. And there were people who were trying to kind of break down the wall and stop his isolation, and yet he wasn't open to it. And so he lost himself in a computer game. And I think that's the thing, like, it has such a, like, it really does have a lot to do with gaming. Hell of a lot. It reminded me a little bit as well. Colossal Cave. Colossal Cave is, I believe, one of the first text-based games that was ever made. So you would literally type in, like, you know, walk left or whatever. And you would have to, like, track where you went, collect keys and work your way through it. But it was all text-based. And it did kind of remind me a little bit of that too, in the terms of, like, how it was a very basic game. I put this in commas, that he was, like, involved in, because Colossal Cave was a very basic game. So yeah, it reminded me a hell of a lot of the stuff that I experienced when I was younger. But then, I don't know, maybe it was just made for people who grew up and experienced the age of gaming.
But then I didn't experience it. I've never really been super addicted to games, but I got that. I got what the commentary was saying about it.
I think when you're surrounded by those people, though, Dean.
Yeah, possibly. That's the thing where people say, "Oh, gaming is going to get you nowhere in life," and if you're an adult, you shouldn't be gaming. It's like, no, you should be enjoying yourself.
It's a hobby.
You know?
Yeah.
Get lost in the game for a bit. It's the same
The
as
Last
watching a
of
film.
Us is a game. It was a game first, and it had a massive hit TV show. There's a hell of a lot of games that have turned into TV shows, but The Last of Us is one that's most modern and most popular. And yes, most people have lived that story by playing the computer game already.
Yeah, no spoilers in the second season.
Like, I see gaming as, like, I haven't watched the second season, by the way, I will say that. But I see gaming as being no different to sitting and binge watching a Netflix show. There's no real difference. The difference is you can't stare at your phone whilst you're doing it. Like, it's, I don't know if I'm also just protective because I met my partner through gaming. You know, I met him playing World of Warcraft, ironically. And I don't know how much of it is that there is so many things that I love about this world in particular. Some of my closest friends have come through because of gaming. Like, but I also don't know how much of it is just because I find that adults tend to pick really boring hobbies. I've spoken about it before, about how I find hiking to be a red flag of a hobby. But the reason I find it to be one, I think, is because of the fact that, like, it feels like a very lazy hobby. And I mean that ironically. I mean it as in it's one that people tend to just put on, like, their dating profiles or in conversation, like, hey, you're going for walks. Like, why can't you enjoy other things? Like, there's got to be other things. And a lot of the people that I know that have those types of hobbies don't have other hobbies. That's their entire personality. That's their whole hobby. Whilst I'm sat here, I don't just have gaming. I read comic books. I watch movies. I paint miniatures. I enjoy drawing. The moment I'm going to be trying to learn how to crochet because that's something I'd like to learn how to do. And I'm also going to learn how to, I've got a felt cat kit. So I'm going to learn how to felt and make a little cat. You know, I don't know. I don't know how much of it is that it's more a case of that people who have gaming will often have so many other multitudes of hobbies that go alongside it. And the fact that, like, my world has been more vivid as a result of all of these hobbies that combine together. Because comic books and gaming go together. There are plenty of comic books that have been turned into games and vice versa. The Walking Dead had one. Telltale made an incredible game for The Walking Dead. They also did the same with The Wolf Among Us and the Fables graphic novels. I met you because of comic books in reality. Like, that's how I met you in the first place. So I don't know if it's so much of me just also being protective and it being like, out of everything that you could pick apart, no, like,
yeah,
find a video game. And this movie has all of those elements. You just clearly either don't game or you just don't understand what it's trying to tell you. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to not enjoy something and not understand what it's trying to tell you.
Yeah, I think it's more the trade-off and gave people the expectation that it's going to be one thing, and it's not. But then, like I say, I don't think the trailer and the synopsis can sort of say what it's about without
Well, I was about to say,
too
why
much away,
why
or
should they
it's
be
not going to be too
spoon-fed
interesting.
it?
Yeah, and this is
Shouldn't be
what we were
spoon-fed the story in a trailer.
like the last show we did, saying about spoon feeding people the story and what's happening in
Yeah.
it. And this one didn't. It's also a one-man DIY project. He like wrote, directed, and acted in it. $45,000 overall. Used every cent of it. And I think it's just the marketing. I think if they put enough money behind the marketing, it will get a bigger audience. But I think the marketing they've gone with is going to be annoy some people. Because I think they're expecting like a parody comedy film. Maybe Jack Black will turn up in the middle of it and shout something. I think that's what people are expecting. I think a similar thing happened with Long Legs, where everyone was saying it's like the scariest film ever made. People went into expecting one type of film, and it wasn't that. But then this is going to be an awkward one to market because also I don't think it's a cinematic film, but
No, it's not. I
I
agree
mean
with that.
the
I
ideal
don't
way
think
to
it
watch
is.
it is like on a CRT television, maybe 14 inches, black and white.
I think the only way it could have a cinema release is if it's in those small independent cinemas.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way.
if it's in the cinema, I'll go to see it because it's
Yeah,
pushing indie
100%.
filmmaking, original film, or it's an idea that they took from something. It's like someone goes into a game, but they've made something completely original with that and told a different story.
Yeah, this is when we talk about the fact that there are people out there who should be making movies and being creative. Like that, this is one of them.
Yeah,
Like this is 100% one of them. Like it is a movie you do have to sit and actually watch. And we're losing a lot of those movies. I've spoken about that before too, like how the spoon feeding, we spoke about that, Netflix creating movies now that you're able to zone in and out because, you know, people tend to be on their phones and stuff. This is not a movie you can sit on your phone because you need to be actively concentrating and watching it. So especially if you're into that, because I know some people aren't. Some people don't want to have a movie they can sit and watch without being distracted. But no, trust me, I know plenty of people that are like that. There are people who are like absolutely fine with, you know, sitting and watching a movie and spending the however many hours, and then there's other people who are like, oh, but you know, I want to be able to like just check my social media, check my messages.
I need to tell people how great this film is in the middle of it.
Yeah, like honestly.
Yeah, I think those people.
A lot of people have a lot of concentration issues.
Yeah.
Myself included sometimes.
Yeah, I need to fix that.
I'm trying my best. I've got other things I've got to fix first.
Obex will release in the UK and Ireland from the 9th of March. The film will have its UK premiere at the Glasgow Film Festival on the 2nd of March. It's the day this show comes out, possibly. So yeah, go see it in the cinema. And then buy it on VHS if they do a special edition of that. Because I probably will. My mark on that
I
stuff.
hope they do it on VHS. I'd 100% buy a copy.
For free.
I have a bunch of VHSs still, and my partner turned to me the other day and said, "Why do you have them? Like, do you have a video player?" And I was like, "Yeah, somewhere I have one still." I said, "But I'm not sure it still works." But like, I've had these for such a long time now. Like, I've just collected them. I've got like Lord of the Rings on VHS. Like, I've got, what else do I have even? I think I've got single white female, sorry, on there. Running Man, Saw, E.T. Yeah, Pokemon is down there as well. Like, shit, hit my mic. Yeah, I just like collecting them when I see them because they're thing that people don't have very often anymore, and they're often just binning them. And I don't want my landfill full of plastic when I can just keep it on my shelf, especially the really interesting ones.
Yeah, I've selling
Bottom
away recently.
Moon, Bottom Moon VHS right now is going for about £150. I loved Bottom Moon.
Where can we find you online? Watching Button Moon.
You can find me on Blue Sky. I'm Nona Goff, 2 Fs. I have to make sure I always say that, just in case people assume that it's my British accent and want to put a TH.
Goth.
Goff. Goff in it.
Yeah. And you can find me at Total Cult Zone. Total Cult Zone. New zine should be up by now. This has been recorded a few weeks in advance, so it should be done by now. If not, I need to have a few words with myself. Social media links will be on there, a few articles, some new art, and a link to the Patreon where you can see a bunch of extra stuff, possibly even a Woody cast. And you can give me some money as well. Give me money. I'm after it now. I need money.
He's chasing you down.
TotalCultZone.com.